first interest for conservation came when I was a child, and because I grew up in the countryside in France, and every weekend I was going in the farm, going to the forest, hunting with my uncle, my grandfather, and I all the time had a connection with nature. The first time I came in Africa, I arrived in Kenya, and I met a geologist, a gem miner named Campbell Bridges. He was mining Savorite in Savo National Park, and I saw this harmony between nature and mining, and that was exactly the type of Africa that I was dreaming about and thinking about for years. And then I started to visit gem mining area a little bit everywhere. But the real first connection I had with this place, with Niassa, was in 2009. And in 2009, there was a story about a new ruby deposit close to Lishinga. We decided to go to see the new ruby deposit. That was about 30 kilometers in the bush. When we were about 3 kilometers from that deposit, we heard a noise coming out from the bush on our left, and I turned my head and I saw an AK-47 pointed on my face. For the next 3 days, we were detained in the bush by a group of Mozambican immigration, Mozambican police, and the Niassa Rangers. And they were thinking that we were kind of investors who were coming in order to finance and to support illegal ruby mining inside the reserve. The Niassa Rangers were telling us that how bad was ruby mining, because ruby mining was associating with poaching. You had people that were seen shooting buffalo around in order to provide the miner with bushmeat. And they were thinking we were part of that. I gave a talk about the ruby trade, and I heard for the first time Dr. Kolinbeg and Kees Beg giving a talk about the Niassa Lion project.
So what we need to do is find alternatives for people to be able to get income that don't rely on natural resources. And so one of our big focuses is finding alternative livelihoods, whether that be honey or rabbit breeding or guinea fowls or whatever it is, to allow people to have the income that they need to be able to have a good life, that they're not starving at the end of the dry season, but also to not rely on the natural resources to provide that. Because as you say, when people go mining, then they go bushmeat snaring, and everything's all very connected.
We joined the Mariri Scouts on patrol to search for miners in the reserve, and it was not long before we found evidence of gold mining activity.
So you see, we are still quite high in the river. Most of the miners have moved because obviously to wash and to be able to collect gold they need water. But it's also the wildlife here. Elephant, animals, they need water to drink. So when you have a concentration of illegal miners around a water hole, animals cannot come to drink. And then this water hole with mercury and with, if they use cyanide, but here it seems that they are just using mercury, this water hole, the water will get also poisoned.
Já arrumaram tudo de maneiras que podem conseguir carregar.
Because they are coming here, so if we show them, they will run away. So they will ambush them on the way back. So they have one shower, one peak.
Yes.
Then the other problem is that when you have this group of miners here, you can have some professional poachers that are coming and mixing with the miner and doing some poaching in order to feed, for example, the miner with bushmeat, and also maybe to get some lion bone or to get, some elephant tusk. The main mining you have here is not something like ruby mining or gemstone mining where it's just about washing the ground. It's about gold mining, where we saw every single miner had this small bottle with mercury, and even one of the guy had a small bag of amalgam that he said he would bring to town, and then they will burn in order to extract the gold.
That mercury gets into the Legenda River, it could destroy the livelihoods of all those fishermen on the river and make them even more food insecure, as well as all the neurological damages that mercury brings. So everything is very interconnected, and so when we talk to fishermen, we can talk to them about the dangers of illegal mining. We can also talk about the dangers for ivory poaching and everything else that goes on, and nothing can be seen independently, and that's why our programs are very holistic.
all the time a little bit funny to pass 10 meters from an hippo. That's the third time we have that.
We're doing a very low-key ecotourism experience. It's only going to be 6 people at a time, 6 to 8 people, and they are needed to bring in the income to provide it for the community. And so this will all run on solar. There's no cement in the camps. We are providing an income for everybody to build them every year, so it's going to be very sustainable because they're going to have to be redone. And we're going to hire, everybody's going to be local, and we're going to keep it very low-key. We're going to be doing walking safaris, canoe safaris, very little driving. I also think that we need to adjust our impression of what wilderness is, and it's something we're going to have to educate the people who come to visit us in Niassa. It's because when people come to a wilderness, they don't expect to see people. And Niassa has 42 villages inside it. And so we're going to have to set them up that they are going to see fishermen, they are going to see hunter-gatherers, and make it part of the experience, basically cultural tourism, and they can be a very integral part of our conservation activities.
Most of the gemstones from Africa, they are new deposits. People don't know really too much about them. So if we want people to appreciate gemstones from Africa, we have to associate them with something positive. And this is exactly what is going on here. This Niassa Lion project, this conservation project, is not just about the lion. It's not about saving the lion and taking the people out. No, it's about minimizing the conflict between human and wildlife. Gemstones are the gems of the mineral world could help, to protect the gem of the living world, because at the end they are a luxury good, and this is also a luxury. So it's a luxury for people, in consuming countries that are helping a luxury here.
We have 393 donors.
Yeah, they want to go
visit
what is happening.
Exactly, and I said to them, I actually chatted to a whole lot of them, and I was in and I chatted to a whole lot of them in San Francisco.
To go and see what is going on.
I said, would you pay? Would you pay to come and stay in a camp? They said, yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Very happy to do that. Sure.